everyone. If everybody could please take a seat. Going to get started. Thank you. Welcome to the Transportation Committee meeting of February 22nd, 2017. I'm Mike Bonham, the chair of the committee, joined by Nuri Martinez of the 6th District and David Rue of the 4th District. And I'll set the example and silence my phone if everybody else will do the same. So let's begin with the multimodal roll call. Who in the past 2 weeks has used the bus? Train? Pedestrians? Always amazed at the people who don't raise their hands on that one. Rideshare? Single occupancy vehicle. Ooh. Okay, let's get started. I am going to take our collected public comment cards from Mr. Previn and Ms. Ramirez. You have multiple cards, so you can come on up. You have 2 minutes each. Is Ms. Ramirez here?
Yeah, she's coming.
I'm sorry. This is my first time at this meeting. Do you mean the special meeting or the regular meeting?
This is the regular meeting.
Okay, so the regular meeting. Okay. My name is Eric Previn, and I am a resident from CD2, and I, for the record, am running for the office of Mayor of Los Angeles. A lot of stuff on this agenda today. First of all, the MFC item number 7 is the Municipal Facilities Commission. This is an important piece of business, and I happen to be at the Municipal Facilities Commission meeting or committee meeting. This is a strange little group who don't do a great job of posting what they're up to in the typical city way. And this auto surveillance system that's going to go into place, we're looking at a Caltrans building, does have, at the meeting it came out, a fairly significant gap in funding. And I know that they were looking at some coastal money that somebody had pulled together, and I wanted to double check that that's really going to cover that, because this is a big move that is going to be a multi-year kind of rollout, and it's for auto surveillance that I don't know. I know that in 1984 we had something looking at the highways to ease traffic, but it's a long time since then. And the Piper Tech building will be available in 2018. And I think that the cost to the city, given that we have a $245 million deficit and we are exceeding liability, unfortunately, in a negative way, we should really consider whether or not this is the right move. I know everybody is excited to negotiate with Caltrans to get that building, but I'm worried about that. On item number 2, we have Mitchell O'Farrell is, I think that there's a Paramount Pictures agreement, and he's seeing to it that the Paramount's covering the permits for these restricted parking, preferential parking districts. Very interesting. Item 3 and 4 is Mr. Bonin moving some oversized vehicles out of neighborhoods, which of course hurts people who are trying to sleep in their cars. We know it's unfortunate, but it is hurtful to those folks. And then item number 1 itself was your report. Would I get a chance to hear the report from DOT before I comment on that?
No.
Okay. So now how would you like to roll?
Your time is up. So when we get to the special, I'll call you back up.
And a general public comment, obviously.
Yeah. Did you have a general public comment as well? Okay, you have another 60 seconds for
okay, I
general public
appreciate
comment.
that. I'll do my general public comment now.
Sure.
Some of you have heard me talk about Vision Zero, and I know you are rolling it out large. The county and the unincorporated areas just added their piece to it. I'm very concerned because I have kind of unmasked what's happening there. I know that the goal is solid and good, but the activities that take place involve revenue increasing. And though there's nothing wrong with revenue increasing if it's for good law enforcement, outside of the airport in New York at JFK, they have a little site at Liberty Avenue and the Van Wyck Expressway where they are pinging people for cell phone usage regarding GPS. Now, everybody in a new city uses their GPS, and this is the low point in government punishing residents where there's no good outcome. Because nobody is learning anything other than a $150 fine that you can't contest easily or even at all. I did a PRA and found that they did 30,000 of these in 2 years. It is, I know you're all getting excited, those who are getting revenue, but it's not okay. And we need to put signs up and put holders in rental car companies which acknowledge how you're supposed to do it. Because even in New York, on the website for the city of New York, they don't tell you about the law. And you just changed the law in California right now.
Your time is up.
1785, that's the law.
Thank you.
I was enjoying this. He's such a good speaker. Thank you, Previn. Thank you. Number one, please clean up the buses, Lysol, bleach, deodorize, disinfect, and put...
Ms. Ramirez, hold on. It's 2 minutes for the collective general comments for the various items on the agenda, then 1 minute for general comment. So you have the 2 minutes to talk about the various cards you put in. General public comment is a separate 1 minute.
Oh, okay. So you want me to start with which one first?
You can do as many of them as you want.
Okay. Let me start with public comments. Thank you. Dash services are pretty good and less crowded and less dirty, nasty, and filthy like the metro buses and trains. My main concern is that many of us victims of gang stalking and or targeted individuals still get harassed, gang stalked, violated, and bullied on both the Dash and metro buses and trains. Yet there is no relief, and most of these gang stalkers are racist, hate-mongering, wetbacks, and Chango Latino gangbangers who will urinate on the elevators that one will use, and they will tamper and disable the elevators and the escalators. So they too stick their cell phones in your face at all times and deliberately hit you, step on you, and or physically attack you. And then they play stupid. These gang stalkers come with multiple players and they box you in and stage scenarios where they will have you falsely accused and or falsely arrested and or banned from businesses or areas. This is a diabolical, sick, and twisted game that these pigs, losers, and thieves and pussies play 24/7.
Okay, Ms. Ramirez, Adam, if we could put the clock to 2 minutes.
Okay.
I'll take that as your 1 minute of general public comment. You now have 2 minutes where you can talk about the oversized vehicle restrictions, the development agreement, the for sale sign restrictions, Sunset Boulevard, or items 2 through 7 on the agenda.
Thank you very much. And number two, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Please, O'Farrell and Wizar, what the hell does this mean? I don't understand this one. No one gets preferential parking, not even me. I want no more and no less than what that is what is right, decent, and pure. The only one who deserves preferential parking is El Jefe, Donald Trump, the great Moses. Oh, God bless you. Thank you. And number three, now, again, establishing the oversized vehicles on restricted streets. Yes, there are oversized vehicles that are used by homeless or people starting a business out of their oversized vehicles, or prostitution, drugs, gangbanging, and or just decent people who are trying to sleep somewhere. Again, however, a lot of it is a toxic urban blight, and also a lot of these gangbangers and prostitution and drug dealers have toxic, loud noise. Let's mitigate these. And also, if we are going to eradicate these oversized vehicles and not allow them on restricted streets, let's find another place. Have the decency and the civility and place notes and say that there's another place available to put their vehicles, and from dates and times, and make it less unbearable for people. Now, let's do a car registry and see if there's any warrants or theft, or if the vehicle's used for drugs and hate crimes and human trafficking, etc. Let's put a registry on the vehicles and take those that are creating problems, and those that are clear, again, put notices and let these notices indicate where they can safely park. Again, if it's for sale signs, again, let them know where they can place.
Thank you, Ms. Ramirez.
Thank you.
Thank you. Colleagues, I recommend for consent item consideration, items 2 through 4. Are any objections? Seeing none, that's the order. That brings us to item number 1, General Manager.
Item number 1 is the General Manager of LADOT to present a verbal report relative to the Department's ongoing projects and recognition of employees for outstanding service.
Good afternoon, committee members.
Good afternoon.
Today, we are very excited to honor some of LADOT's finest. First and foremost, as you all are well aware, the last few weeks have been extraordinarily challenging in terms of weather and weather-related events. And the Department of Transportation is a first responder. We have an agreement that whenever called, we're required to show up within 10 minutes to the site of an emergency to make sure that we're directing traffic, we're keeping things going, and we're keeping things safe. And so in a very timely way, today we're acknowledging the Hollywood Command staff from our Parking Enforcement and Traffic Control Division. On January 19th, a major storm impacted the city of LA with heavy rainfall within a very short period of time. The large volume of water caused a major mudslide along Laurel Canyon Boulevard, as Councilman Rue knows extremely well, between Mulholland and Hollywood Boulevard. In response, the Hollywood Area Command staff, led by Captain R.C. Smith, please stand when I say your name, Lieutenant Jesse Dyer, and Lieutenant Brian Hartman, quickly mobilized their resources, and within minutes of the incident, traffic officers were deployed to the scene to help maintain public safety. With the assistance of these leaders, necessary detours were implemented, briefings with other city agencies conducted, and essential information conveyed in real time to the Emergency Management Division throughout the duration. The response of the Hollywood Command staff during this emergency is indicative of their commitment and exceptional abilities. The department is very grateful to them for providing their leadership during an emergency situation and for bringing all of our city partners together to keep the community safe and traffic flowing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And there is no rest for the weary because they'll all be right back at it this weekend for the Academy Awards. Next, I'd like to recognize two individuals from the Administration and Field Services Division that work behind the scenes and are part of what makes LADOT a great place to work. Eden Garcia, Accountant 2. And Reginald Pilotine, Administrative Clerk from the Temporary Sign Division. Eden has worked at LADOT for 12 years. She is energetic and proactive, allowing her to work well whether she's working independently or on a team. She's detail-oriented, diligent, organized, performing at high levels to produce work with great quality and accuracy. She has in-depth technical accounting knowledge and is able to apply her knowledge to all accounting transactions. Eden is in a trusted position, overseeing the use of our government credit card for quick turnaround purchases numbering many dozens a year. She has excellent people and customer service skills. Thank you, Eden, for your dedication and contributions to the management of Proposition A and Measure R funds. Reggie has been with LADOT for 15 years. He is currently assigned to the Temporary Sign Division, which posts over 100,000 temporary no parking signs for FEMLA, DWP, Bureau of Street Services, council offices, mayor's office, and the public. He communicates exceptionally well with all our customers to ensure that requests are accurately processed and scheduled. His dedication to customer service and terrific work ethic make him an asset to our daily operations and a valued LADOT employee. LADOT is honored to recognize these individuals for their outstanding performance and dedication to the residents of the city of LA.
Thank you. Colleagues, do you have any questions for the General Manager?
If I could just comment, Mr. Chair. I feel like we were here about a month ago or a couple of weeks ago when we honored your DOT staff. Last time it was some of your other staff. This time it's, I really got to say big thank you to RC and of course his crew, Jesse and Brian, because it wasn't just this past weekend. It's pretty much every weekend and every holiday weekend. Take your pick throughout my district, but especially when it comes to an emergency like this. You were there a couple of weeks ago when we had the mudslides, and this time we had a sinkhole, which was just outside of my district in Paul Krikorian's district, but it affects us all in the city of LA. So I really thank DOT. You guys go above and beyond. When you have emergency response, you guys are so on it that you're moving too fast for anyone else to follow. So I appreciate how fast you guys are on it. And so thank you.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Okay. Thanks very much. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations. Okay, let's go to item number 5.
Item number 5 is Cedillo Englander motion relative requesting the city attorney to prepare and present an ordinance to amend the Los Angeles Municipal Code regarding the private sale of vehicles with for sale signs.
Okay, great, thank you. So we have a public hearing on this one. We're going to hear some testimony. We have cards from Louis Gonzalez of CD1. Stephen, I can't really read your last name, from Loyola High School. James Crisafulli. We'll start with those three. Yeah, you can come on up. I was going to call you up afterwards, but sure. And is Abel here?
Abel.
Okay, cool. We'll just take you whenever there's a seat. Mr. Gonzalez.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Luis Gonzalez, and I'm the field deputy for Council District 1. Due to Pico Union's constant growth, its population density has increased exponentially in the last decade. This growth has impacted a limited amount in existing street parking in the area. While we continue to find new innovative ways to address this issue, we need to make sure that we maximize the limited resources at our disposal. The high volume of for sale vehicles are creating not only a shortage of public street parking for the residents of Pico Union, but they're also creating vehicular and pedestrian traffic hazards, as well as traffic congestion. Allowing these vehicles to remain parked for long periods of time, it also is creating a public nuisance as the streets are constantly left with trash. At this point, at this moment, there is absolutely no parking available on Venice Boulevard, as for sale vehicles owners have completely taken over all the available parking spaces. As a council office, it's imperative that we protect our residents from nuisance and potential hazards that affect negatively the quality of life, and that is why I respectfully request the members of the committee to approve the before-mentioned motion. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen?
All right. Hello, my name is Stephen Burke. I'm a senior at Loyola High School, and I play baseball, which is like directly adjacent to the Venice parking or the Venice street that we would be able to park on, but we're not able to because of all the for sale vehicles. Basically, if we were able to park there, many of the parents would use that parking, and so it would be a lot easier for them to get to the games rather than parking across the school. And then also we'd be able to use those on the weekends in case we have like a game or a practice. And basically, we're just not able to. Like, I remember a couple weeks ago, I tried parking on Venice, and it's just completely booked. Like, there's just too many vehicles there that no one's using. They're just for sale, and like, you just can't park there. So if we could park there, that'd be a big help for baseball as well as any other activities such as theater, which James is going to talk about. So.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hello, thank you. My name is James Crisafulli. I'm part of the theater company at Loyola, and similarly, we have to park inside of Loyola's school grounds, inside locked gates because of safety concerns on Venice Boulevard because of the for sale vehicles. Sometimes this becomes a nuisance where we have to find a guard when we're getting out of rehearsals at 10 or 11 p.m. to unlock the gates for us to get out of school, whereas Venice Boulevard is right in front of the theater, easily accessible, but there's no available parking because of these vehicles out there, which is not only a concern for, again, show nights, visitors, guests coming to Loyola, and students, but also just a concern of safety that we're rehearsing right next to this hub of for sale vehicles that because the staff sees as a safety concern, we're not able to park there or even walk out there. We have to go through the school grounds. So I think the signs and this motion would be greatly helpful to the safety and parking concerns for students and visitors.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael Mcdermott, Director of Facilities at Loyola High School. Loyola High School has been at our current address since 1917. It was chartered in 1865. We're the oldest high school in Southern California. This really started happening a couple years ago and slowly got worse and worse and worse. And we have cars out there that are, because of the for sale issues, they never move. And so we have transients behind them. I believe there's packet of pictures. I don't know if they were passed out to you, but it kind of shows what's going on out there. And they're there 24 hours a day. If we took a picture last week, the same picture we take today is the same cars. They've never moved. And it's just becoming a safety jeopardy with our students and just causing blight. It's just bad news for a campus that has 1,200 students getting picked up after school on Venice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Name is Abel Galarza. I work for the security department at the school, under staff. And just like we've been saying, the issue with the for sale vehicles is just that they're there for with no end in sight. They're there day in, day out, with all the blight that they create. They also have increased vandalism in the general area, and also even crimes that are not reported because of the owners of those vehicles. They don't want to report something that they're actually doing illegally, which is selling those vehicles on the curb. So the amount of vehicles out there has increased steadily, and also because of those vehicles not moving, it blocks other venues of sight to the property which is adjacent to us, which is a cemetery. So that in itself creates areas for concealment of illegal encampments, of more trash and the like. Ultimately, I think we want to eliminate the for sale vehicles to increase the safety and provide a safe corridor for the students in the neighborhood.
Thank you. And for the record, I should note that we're in receipt of a number of different photographs from CD1 and from the folks who came down to testify. Mr. Nagel, is there anything you need to ask?
No, Honorable Chairman. I think they all did a wonderful job at the table. I really thank you for being so thorough.
Thank you.
I just want to really thank Loyola coming out, for Loyola School coming out, and especially the students. Stephen and James, thank you for participating in your community. This is what it's about, taking time out of your busy schedule. Did you get out of school for this?
Yes.
What classes are you missing?
Liturgy.
Psychology.
Yeah.
But this is civic participation.
Yeah, count.
So this is civic participation, and I really thank you. And you know, your council member hears you. We hear you. We're going to make sure that we pass this through, and we thank Councilmember Gil Cedillo, your council member, for bringing this to our attention. But thank you for participating.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. Are the owners of the vehicles, do they live in that area, or do you think that the owners of the vehicle are coming from other communities?
I'm sorry.
That would be hard to say because sometimes there are different vehicles at different times. Sometimes they leave them there for a longer periods of time. So sometimes they do live in the area, sometimes they don't. So it's just they have used that corridor as a place to sell cars.
Do you think they come from that neighborhood?
In past experiences, we've called those numbers just to bring certain things to their attention. And no matter what number you call, it's only one person that usually responds to that same two different numbers. And their response is usually, I'll be there in about 45 to an hour. Be it that it's...
So they're not probably from that neighborhood?
Be it that we make the call in the morning, or be it that we make the call in the evening, on the weekend, whatever issues come up that we see that we want them to correct, something that I think we can just bring up with the owners. It's always the same. It's 30, 40, an hour away.
And how did you decide which two students got to get out of class to come down and testify?
Well, I'm not sure if you saw, I have a footprint of the campus. It really impacts our baseball field and our theater.
Other way around.
On the west side of the campus. So, I thought bringing them that are parking there every day or trying to park there every day, they have a lot to say about it.
Cool. It's a clear day, so Mr. Vu's predecessor would have insisted that you go up to the top of the building, the tower, and get a view of the city. So, you can skip another class while you're at it. Okay, so without objection, this item is approved, and we'll forward it to the full council. Thank you very much. Thank you, CD1.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to item number 6.
Item number 6 is a Bond and Blumenfield motion relative to instructing Department of Transportation to conduct a feasibility study for a reversible lane on Sunset Boulevard eastbound between Kenter Avenue and the 405 freeway.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Hunt, you do not look like Carlos Rios.
Carlos Rios is in training right now.
Cool.
Taking his place.
So I'll make this one quick in the interest of time for the committee. Want to thank DOT for their willingness to look into this. One of the worst traffic choke points in the city is Sunset at the 405, particularly going eastbound. Travel speeds during the evening peak hours are actually equivalent to and often slower than walking. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I'm very familiar with the area because I did a call for a project application back in 2009. Unfortunately, the community didn't kind of agree with that application. So,
that was the widening.
But from Barrington to the 405.
Yeah, no, the widening was not all that.
Something needs to be done there. I think this is a great opportunity to look into reversible lanes. So.
Yeah, I mean, I know that the city's looked at stuff like this before, Sepulveda reversible lane, Olympic Pico and stuff like that. On this one, maybe this works, maybe it doesn't, but there's genuine appetite to explore it.
Absolutely.
About a year ago, I had a big workshop charrette, 400 or so people came out and we polled everybody, and 80% thought that the eastbound direction problem was a huge problem, and 77% of those who showed up said they'd be willing to pilot the reversible lane project. Only 8% agreed, or only 8% disagreed, or disagreed strongly. So I think folks are interested in this. It's part of a broader initiative we're doing to restripe the entrance to Caltrans and better manage the flow there onto the 405. But this is an important thing to look at. So just want to thank you for doing that and get a report back in May.
Absolutely. It's roughly, just to give you kind of a ballpark, 1.2 miles.
Yeah.
It's 15 intersections, 7 signalized intersections.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time to do the traffic analysis and counts, so I think May is a perfect time.
Great. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Am I approving or holding in committee? So we'll approve that. Okay. Thanks very much. That brings us to item number 7.
Item number 7 is a Municipal Facilities Committee report relative to Phase 1 of the Automated Traffic Surveillance and Control Center relocation.
You look like Dan Mitchell. You don't look like Dave
Good
Verano.
afternoon. Dan Mitchell with the Department of Transportation, Assistant General Manager. So I'm here, joining me is Ramon Soto with the CAO's office, and Ohaji
Abdullah, Bureau of Engineering.
Bureau of Engineering. We've both been working on this project for many years, trying to find a new suitable home for our automated traffic surveillance and control center. Now that we've spoken about it many times, but after many years of looking at new places, we finally, with the encouragement of the mayor's office, looked at separating Atsac, the place where people work and manage the system, and Atsac, the place where the servers are housed, which is currently at the 4 stories underground. In years past, those had to be together. The people had to be together because they were operating on terminals that were connected by 50-foot cables to computers. But now with modern servers, we can separate those. And so after a long search, our proposal is now to build that new center on the 11th floor of the Caltrans building adjacent to our headquarters, while maintaining the equipment down in the P4 level of City Hall East. So that's going to bring huge operational benefits for us. It's going to bring benefits to the staff. We'll no longer be housed in that underground bunker. But when we started in 1984 with 118 signals, it was only a few people. But over the years, as we've expanded to the whole city, we're unable to accommodate our staff down there. And so what bringing this to the Caltrans building will bring is the opportunity to have all of the staff in one place managing the system. It also improves working conditions for them and prepares us for future expansion of the system.
Keeping the equipment where it is, it's P4 you said?
Yes. Yeah, it's on P4 currently.
P4? Does anything need to be done to P4 to those facilities to make it more hospitable to the equipment?
Yes, there are a number of improvements, environmental improvements, including power, fire suppression, and other improvements, but the most immediate needs would be addressed by moving the people to a new center in the Caltrans building. That will relieve some of the power requirements that are now needed for people's computers and lights and so forth. But the second phase of this project, which is not before you today, but will follow in the near future, would expand those and upgrade those facilities consistent with what ITA is upgrading for their servers in the same location.
I have a vague recollection that last time I was there was like a water leak or something. Am I remembering that correctly?
You are, sir.
Okay, that kind of not a great thing to have around computer equipment.
It is not a great thing to have around computers, and we've been working with General Services to eliminate such problems.
How is that going?
Ramon Soto with the CAO's office. This element of...
Before you answer, let me rephrase my question. If I went down last week during the rains, would I have seen more leaks?
I'm not sure. You may have. I know that just nearby, for example, at the Joy Picus Child Care Center, they've had serious leaking issues from the top roof. GSD has been fairly aggressive in recent years about trying to address those types of issues. But also, we're in the middle of a City Hall East electrical upgrade project, which is designed to increase the reliability and robustness of City Hall East electrical systems. And part of that is also intended to address issues down in the lower levels, and which would include addressing issues with leaks.
Okay, so we have water leaking around sensitive computer equipment and preschool-age children. Not good in either case. The preschool-age children I don't have any jurisdiction over in this committee. Department of Transportation I do. So separate from this item, I'm going to ask GSD to report with DOT at the next meeting about what's being done about the leaking, because the cost, NCAO, because the cost of damage to the stuff could be significant. And the impact if we sort of had things, smoking out and stuff like that would be significant pretty immediately. So that concerns me. I'm glad that there's stuff in the works, but we're going to get more rains in a couple days, I think. And if it's still leaking, then that's a bad thing.
Sunday's raining.
Sunday's rainy?
Just anecdotal, but we haven't heard of any issues with the leaks down in the P4 levels in recent weeks.
I'll go check.
Sure.
I'll be wearing my work
Isn't there
boots.
something you can patch it with? I mean, I got stuff at home.
That would probably be a question for GSD.
Yeah. Okay, colleagues, either of you have questions? Just another question. I know that there were some alternative suggestions for locations. Mr. Englender had a couple. Those were looked at, and
Yes. There were multiple suggestions that were made and multiple alternatives investigated. Councilmember Englander's suggestion was around a training center for personnel that's adjacent to the EOC. And we did tour that facility and found that it was much smaller than the space required for conducting our operations.
Okay. All right. Well, seeing no further questions, seeing no objections, the item is approved. Thank you
very much.
Okay, that concludes the regular agenda. We have a one-item special agenda, which should be very, very quick. So we will adjourn this. We will convene the special. One item.
Item number 1 on the special meeting is the Bono Buscaino motion relative to amending the municipal code to establish a 35 miles per hour speed limit for West Jefferson Boulevard between Culver and Lincoln Boulevards.
Mr. Brevin, come on up for a minute.
Yes, it is Eric Previn from CD2, and I'm running for the office of Mayor of Los Angeles. And this is right next to the Bayona wetlands. And I think it makes sense to lower the speed limit from 50 to 35. I read carefully that the LAPD will not be able to enforce any of this, but that is the key detail, because when you take a spot where everybody's going at 50, Mr. Rue, and then all of a sudden it's changed to 35, everybody knows what happens. They start writing tickets like crazy, and the people who visit the Bayona wetlands and Marina del Rey do not want a series of tickets. I assume this is for the reasons that it's stated and not for that, but I would call that out loud right now. And I would also say that this body is very nice, and it was very nice to have the cheering going. I like positive stuff, but I do not like being told that there's a report from the Department of Transportation chair, or the head of that group, the director, and that you cannot comment on what she said. So that is a big red flag for me, and you should change that policy. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you very much, and exactly on time. So that concludes public comments. Unless there are questions, looks like there are. We'll approve this item as well. And that is the direction of the committee, and we are adjourned. Thank you.